Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. We had a big oak tree hit the house. Didn't do too much damage. I had to get up there and patch some holes in the roof because it started leaking through the light fixtures. And I've probably got a lot of work to do after it's all said and done, but it'll probably be months before we get power over here because it washed the road out for 2 or 3 miles down through here, and just barely got enough room where you can get a four-wheel drive around the bad places and over the power lines and telephone lines and all that, but they'll have to build a road before they can bother putting telephone poles back up somewhere.
Yeah, I live about I want to say a half mile off the Broad River, or a section of it anyway. And I went last night, me and my buddy went with night vision and thermals, walking around seeing what we could see down there on the river. And I drove up the road and we got out and started walking, and the road lasted about 100 meters. And it just disappeared and it was gone. It was just like a cliff and water everywhere. The road just no longer exists. It's wild, the devastation that water brought.
Oh yeah, I know. I finally got on the internet today with our radio club down in Marion. Somebody gave us a Starlink system, and we got that hooked up, and we got internet, and got to looking at the pictures of Lake Lure and the Chimney Rock and all that. It's unbelievable. There's nothing left over there.
The house. Here comes the house. Here comes the house. We heard you the 5th time.
Starlink, it is pricey,
House.
man. It is
a whole house.
a rock star of a system.
That's a whole house.
Great. My neighbor had it. Swears by it. Before we got cell service.
That's the insulation.
It is
Insulation.
ridiculously fast.
Yeah, the guy that had it, he just brought it and dropped it off and left. Didn't tell anybody password, how to use it or anything.
I don't know if you guys can hear me now. Hopefully better. I have better control of audio right now. I was just sitting in and decided to go out and you guys chit-chatting. Just calm down. Emergency response because it's flights of private citizen, military, national guard. These two guys were just chit-chatting. They're in a bad position. One guy's in the car. He's just talking on the radio. Kill time here. And you hear gratitude as they compare this situation to other areas around just way worse situations. There was a moment of gratitude, and I'll tune back in.
Chimney Rock's gone.
Chat.
Flowering Bridge is gone. And
When I go inside, I can come back.
the fucking road's gone. So I don't know what they're going to do to get us out of here, but we got to figure it out.
Go ahead, comment.
This shit's crazy. I hope not. Oh, we're gonna go up in the attic if we have to, guys. We came quick. Love y'all.
My volume is really low. Maybe comparatively to theirs, because I have theirs jacked up, but I see my like volume indicator and I seem to be fine with where my bar is, but I don't know.
Did with location, I got about 10 seconds of what you said, and somebody else talked on top of you. You guys keyed up at the same time. I didn't hear anything of what y'all said before.
Alpha Echo 4 Echo Papa. Sorry about that.
Hey, you're okay. It happens in traffic.
I just want to let you know the net should start back up at 9 o'clock in the morning. And also, if you want current information, listen to 99.9 FM. They're doing emergency announcements and broadcasts from there.
All right, I just tuned in right now. It's news.
Yeah, thanks for that information. And good evening, Garland. Heard you in there.
Passed along the same information he was, and I figured he probably knew more than I did, so I just shut up. Anyway, hope I didn't interfere.
That makes a lot more sense. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't hear the TikTok video locally, and I realized now that it was playing, so that's why you're having a hard time hearing me. If I turn the scanner all the way down, you should have no problem hearing me.
To the mountain, but for the most part, around here, it's we've retained all the services, power, so that we've had a few outages, but nothing major. So we missed the bullet this time.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we come back through Marion a while ago, and most of the businesses were back up and running, and a lot of the gas stations were pumping gas. So a lot better than it was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I've been following the trials and tribulations that you fellas have been going through over there, and sure hoping and praying that things would get better over a period of time, and that you don't have any more fatalities. I know there's been a bunch, so just hope for the best. Kurt, I'll let you two get back at it, and I'll shut up over here for a while, sit and monitor for a bit. W4 WSX.
All right, Garland, good night. Yeah, I'm going to turn mine off. Conserve my battery a little bit. I may get an HT here in a little bit and listen for a while, but enjoyed the QSO, everybody. KJ4PP out.
Comment?
Good night, KJ4PPN. Go ahead, comment.
I've got a friend of mine in Madison County. He's been listening to Spivey. Spivey is reporting that the news about the Beach Dam breaking is a hoax. So I'm putting that out there for what it's worth.
This is partly why I turned this on before I went live, because you saw me tweeting about that, and there's some misinformation, even from, I think, the police department, or maybe now it's a hoax, and maybe somebody produced that image that made it look like it was from the police department. I don't know, but you're going to hear from them locally that that is not true about that dam being potentially breached imminently.
That's a real bad thing to do.
You heard
It's
the tail end.
unbelievable, really, but people are people. They're not always great.
Well, and it may not have been a malicious hoax. There's often a game of telephone with emergency situations, and sometimes information gets twisted and split around as it's passed along.
Cam 4 CFU.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to break in here like this. I just turned on the radio and heard you guys say that the B3 Dam, that whole deal is a hoax. Is that correct?
I've been told that that's what they're saying on Spivey, the Spivey repeater. Comment, go ahead.
Yeah, the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department put a thing on Facebook saying that the dam was secure, so let's hope so.
Is that a Lynn I hear?
Sure enough, KI4 is the EK.
How you doing tonight, K4SOP? I said, and earlier today, and I accidentally reset my radio. I fat fingered it, and I ended up deleting everything, and I plugged it back in and forgot that there was an offset on here.
Yeah, that's sort of important. Yeah, I've done that before, mashed the button on my handpiece and didn't know what I'd done.
Did you get those trees cut today, or did you put it off again?
I try not to do no work on Sunday, but I'll be out there tomorrow cutting.
Where are you at anyway, Lynn?
Do what?
Where do you live?
Oh, I'm in Maiden, Southern Catawba County. Yeah, we took a trip today just around the county a little bit. Couple bridges washed out, a lot of trees down. And
I could listen to this shit all day. Yeah. Back when Radio Shack was still a thing, when I was 11 or 12, saved up money and got my first CB radio. And this reminds me of chit-chatting with the truck drivers, but in like 2 or 3 weeks, I got it. My parents made me pack it up in the box neatly so I could return it because the truck drivers were complaining to my parents that I was saying inappropriate things to them and I was not using the CB radio properly as one should. Eva said her grandpa had one and he let them talk shit on it. My parents were not happy when they found out I was being a little shit on it. But they're just chit-chatting on it right now. Earlier there's a lot more stuff going on. But this is just as interesting to me. I love listening to it. I'm looking for ham and CB radios on Amazon and realizing VHF is not going to work, which they use for Marine. Were you saying something, Eva?
Yes.
Hold on. Eva's coming to say hi.
Hi, everyone. Also, please share the stream. Lots of people are still looking for loved ones, and these guys were actually giving out a lot of information, phone numbers, addresses, trying to get information in and out for people, too. So share this on all your platforms, please.
As Jennifer Coffin-Daffer would say, please use your platforms to share. Kim says, I heard Dad had one in the car. Yeah, this is like, I don't know. I loved stuff like this growing up and CB radios. And turns out they're still useful in 2024, right? And this is how these people are communicating. All cell phone coverage is out or has been out. One guy said he was sitting in his car using a cell phone, so in some areas it's been restored. They're using Starlink for internet and good old-fashioned CB radios to communicate and relay information.
Lo and behold, the porch light, security light was on.
We got our power back about 6 tonight. So, me and my boy buddy, we're doing fine.
I hope that gosh ours isn't too far behind from what I've been hearing reports about through Progress Energy. They're saying it might be at the latest Friday before we ever get any power back on out here.
Hey, some of them up here going to get theirs back on Friday. I hope it's sooner than that, but we'll see. Lynn, have you heard?
We got sorry. While Eva was saying that, it reminded me, and then my ADHD, I'm reading the news at the top on the little ticker. We have the email address of the ham radio operator from earlier. We went back and made sure we had it. Not only made sure we had it, but I emailed it from 2 different email addresses to make sure I didn't get a bounce back. And they were using that email so people could email in and then they could get information out locally over these radios. So tomorrow morning, I'm running out of energy here. It's been a long week. Obviously, you guys were following. I was in Cedar Key. And then fast forward this weekend, and I think this just sort of took me by surprise. It took a lot of people by surprise that I was so focused on Florida, and rightfully so. But this storm really did a number on states north of us. Georgia. I see video out of Georgia, people waiting in line for hours for gas, supplies, and geez, and then Tennessee and North Carolina. And this is wild. And now it's Sunday. We're bracing for Monday tomorrow, and potentially another storm could form in the Gulf. There's like 3 out there right now looking at map. So it's been a long week. Good evening, Bobby. Good evening.
Gosh, ain't nowhere near as devastating as this one was. KK4EAR. Good evening there, Lynn, and everyone on the frequency.
Yeah, good evening. Is that Arnie?
No, it's me. It's good old Lee. Everything's all right.
It's good old Lee.
I was thinking of somebody else, but yeah, good evening to you. And yeah, I don't think we need any kind of storm up this way right now.
I've been sort of wondering how old Kenton and fare down there in Burke County. How hard did they get hit?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been to Burke County, but I've been listening to the net going on the Mount Mitchell repeater the last couple of days, and getting visual reports and from people that's driving the area and stuff, and that and stuff on Facebook. We don't have internet, but she can get her Facebook page on her phone.
Roger. Well, I just sort of thought I'd wave ahead and say good evening, everyone, and heard Steve come in there, you also, Lynn, and hadn't talked to you in a while, been a bunch of Sundays, but anyway, just thought we'd key down and say good evening to you. I got about 1 bar left on this battery, so I better sort of conserve it till we can get the generator back on tomorrow, hopefully.
Hey, Bobby, while we have you here, do you have any suggestions for good CB radios? It's been a while since I've been in the market myself for a good CB radio. I've been looking all night. I know I'm gonna get into this trap of just browsing CB radios for the next 48 hours, reading reviews, watching videos. So before I go there, anyone have a good CB radio recommendation?
All right about now, so I could cut up some wood that fell right back behind my home over here for fuel to put in this big old aluminum, what they call it, stainless steel barbecue grill. I got some nice tenderloin filet mignon steak in the freezer. I'm trying to keep from going bad. And if I could get a fire going out in this doggone grill out front, I'd fix me some steak, hash brown taters, fry me up a few eggs to go with it for breakfast.
I heard that, yeah. We're fortunate we're not having to camp out, but I remember when Henko come through, we had to camp out. But, yeah, that's when I learned to be a little more prepared.
Roger. Well, y'all take care and have a good rest of the evening. I hope tomorrow's a little bit better than the day was the day before. And y'all take care. KJ4EAR. Steve, keep it straight now. Catch you later. Good to hear you.
Chet's in Buncombe County, not Burke County, KJ4PPF. And it's going to be months before we got power. I'm not saying weeks, I'm saying months. But because they got to build a road before they can have a place to put poles up through here.
Roger. No, I was referring to a buddy of mine, Ken, Kilo Echo November Tango. He's about 3 miles from the old, where they used to have the Hamfest down there at the old Burke County Fairground.
Okay, I thought you said Chet. I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah, I know pretty much where Chet is. They threw it pretty good there and stuff. But anyway, good evening to you, KJ4EAR.
Yes, Lee, I haven't heard Kent in a long time. Straight day in the morning. I haven't heard him in a month of Sundays. I don't him here. I miss you guys talking on DMR on WNC. But catch you later. Lynn, I'll catch you later too, and take Kurt in the 4ST.
Steve, enjoy that electricity. We're going to be camping for a while up here. And it ain't going to be fun, especially when the guy down at the end of the road said that if we went back out, we couldn't come back in. Orders of the federal government.
Oh, man. Wow. Yep. I don't know what to say.
Crazy.
All I say is be careful and do what you need to do is all I can say right now.
Kurt, suppose you needed food and water and had to leave and had no place to go once you got the food and water. I don't see where they can keep you out. And you got to be reasonable about all this.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, they can close it down, but not to locals that live up in here. That's crazy.
Well, I heard you mention earlier you had to show the National Guard, convince them to let you back in. Was there an issue?
It wasn't even the National Guard. It was some disaster seeker fireman, volunteer fireman, a little old boy down there. Didn't even have reflective gear on. Dark gear, barely could see him. No flashlight or nothing. Walked out. Said, "Where do you think you're going?" I said, "I'm going home." "Where do you live?" I told him. He said, "You got a driver's license to prove that?" Oh, man.
I hope you remember his credentials. Hey, rumor has it that somebody over there...
Yeah, YouTube is S-ho. So storm chasers going in, private citizens delivering supplies via choppers. I saw the United Kingdom Navy out there. They landed a chopper. They're delivering supplies. People really going to bat from all different states, from all over, coming in, trying to help.
Yeah, I know. I can just imagine. I got word today we're going to be 2 weeks till we get restored. We don't have anything over here either. I'm talking on a battery right now.
Yeah, I am too. And the battery's getting low.
You can hear their resistance. This is the second time I've heard it in less than a half an hour. Their resistance to federal government and National Guard telling them they can't go back to where they live. They're trying to go in and out to get supplies, and the guy described trying to go back in and being hassled. These people already in these particular areas, Tennessee, North Carolina, not big fans of suits or government officials anyway. So,
well, Art's not getting in the repeater too good tonight. I could tell that's who it was. EAN down in Cowpen, but that's all I could make out.
Hey, Art, you're real noisy, buddy. But we caught part of what you said there. You're the 4ST.
QSL state, KE4EA clear. In the dark, Cowpen. That was a little better, Art. Go ahead.
Well, I have to move around. I'm on the HT. That's all I can do. But been in the dark since Thursday and on the well, so I had to go up the road and get some water to drink. But we're making it. Y'all just listen. Y'all carry on. And I want to say hello to everybody. KE4EA clear.
Gotta make it fun. Make it like a big camping trip. Live off the land for a little bit. We'll all survive. We don't like it, but we'll survive.
K2DXX. Hey, Lynn, you still there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to tell you, my sister, you called for me the other night. She is listening right now on the Broadcastify feed, and she just wanted me to tell you thank you for giving her a call.
It's like their own little private version of like Delilah's Pillow Talk on the ham radio. They're like relaying messages from their family and their sisters.
Pictures of the campground, and there's like 5 inches of mud through the entire campground.
Well, I hope everything's still there. The mud's no problem. That can be cleaned up, but glad it didn't get wiped out.
Wiped out may not be too far from accurate still. It's, as you already know, I don't need to explain to you, it's a mess.
Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Pillow Talk. Ham radio, Pillow Talk.
It's unbelievable. It just wiped all those shops out in the streets and everything.
What do y'all think this will do for Western North Carolina's building
You
economy?
are welcome, Jess. I was listening in because I wanted to learn accurate information about that dam, and I figured this was the place to go. And now, Jess, you are listening to Ham Radio, Tennessee and North Carolina, Western North Carolina, Ham Radio, Pillow Talk. We can't play any music due to YouTube's copyright, but we can sing it.
Very briefly.
So I assume everything is okay?
Yeah, and I'm assuming you mean LBA, correct?
Correct.
KB9KLW, this is Mark. I have a question.
Go ahead.
We have Mark with a question.
Does anybody have a report in Marion? What's open? Are any of the grocery stores, gas stations, anything open?
Yes, sir. Walmart's open. Ingles open. All the gas stations on the 5-lane, exit 81, there's 2 or 3 gas stations open there. Exit 86, Love's and Exxon is open. And that end of town's doing pretty good right now.
Thank you. How about the other end, the north end, up there where Food Lion, Lowe's, all that up there? Anybody got any idea about that way?
Well, Lowe's open for business today. They started out just giving away water, but they're selling supplies too. Anything.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more serious earlier. Still getting good information in between the Pillow Talk here, but it's definitely a lot more relaxed this evening.
Thank you.
Contact.
Contact.
KK4 PF. KK.
Good evening, Sean. You're listening to Ham Radio Pillow Talk. By request, next song is I Go Meow by the Nerdy Addict. Hey, little kitty. You want to play the instruments, baby? No. It's such a pity. Eva's going, no. It's such a pity that you don't know who you are. I go meow. I go meow. I go meow. I go meow. I need Harrison. I need you for backup vocals in here.
We always got a place to sleep if you need it.
All right, Dan. We really appreciate it. And the club's open too. And there's cots down there, you know.
Hey, little kitty. It's such a pity you don't know who you are. I go meow. I go meow. Keep going with it. Meow. Keep going with it. Keep going. Hey, little kitty. It's such a pity you don't know who you are. I go meow. I go meow. I go meow. All right. That was great. Thank you. All right, guys.
National News talking about how well the amateur radios are doing down here.
Kurt, I'm looking at your picture from 226A. That's where the road used to be?
Yeah, and I didn't have time to put many pictures, and that one picture is where a house used to be. Russell Neighbors, he's a lawyer down here in Marion. That's where his house was down there. It's just a flat slab now with You can see some cinder blocks sticking up through the sand.
You know, I haven't seen any pictures. I just now got enough phone capability that I can look at Facebook, but I still don't have internet. And so I'm going through it now, but thank you. I'm clear. 10-4 TOZ.
Hey, code. 73 KK40, I'm clear.
All right, Dan, have a good... Go ahead, whoever that was, calling for Kurt.
Sorry about that. I thought he was... I didn't mean to step on him. Are you familiar with... There's a development up there above you called the Peninsula. Are you familiar with that?
This is Mark, KB9KLW. I live in the Peninsula. What would you like to know?
Jeff and Jane Fawcett.
This is Mark. I live in the Peninsula. Please repeat.
I'm looking for info on a Jeff and Jane Fawcett. Jeff is the one that drives the blue Camaro.
They should be fine, and here's why. Our community fared fairly well. We did lose a lot of floating docks, and they went out with jet skis and got them yesterday and today. One of our entrances, the road washed out, but all the homes and people, everybody up here, I've been talking to the...
It's got to be a huge relief, these inquiries for people in these communities where they've lost internet, they've lost cell coverage, family can't get a hold of them, and this is the only way through this radio. It's got to be a huge relief. It's kind of humbling with all the technology that we have, all the government resources. These people, I'm sure, have called local law enforcement officials and are not getting answers, and people are finding this radio. You could see earlier there's like 3,000 people listen to this particular radio because they're doing really good with information, relaying it, and having people local in the community be able to relay information. So it's kind of cool, even though we're joking that it is Pillow Talk tonight, that information like this and checks and wellness checks are being done, people checking in. We heard earlier a newborn and parents, no one knew if they were okay, and while we were listening, someone had validated that they were in fact okay.
There had a log pile probably about chest high, and I think they had some end loaders out there today that moved it so we can get into Marion, actually.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, Jeff lives over there. I can't remember the name of the road, but you go about a half a mile up in there, and it turns down, and it goes all the way down to the lake. He's one of the lakefront houses.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I know where that is. We live out on the other end. We're the only house on our road. We live near the back entrance, so to speak. But, yeah, okay, well, very good. I will look for him if we get out tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, yeah, man. I appreciate it. And I'll let you out back there, Kurt. That's what I was going to ask you, so that worked out good. K2DX6 clear.
KL4MNA, just checking to see if anybody knows, is I-40 open going east of Asheville?
Negative.
Thank you for that.
KR40X, if I'm getting in the machine, that's what I was wanting to know. I understand you said negative. Do they give any kind of time frame or anything?
Negative. 40's closed east and west. You can't get down the mountain.
They gave no kind of time frame, right?
Not that I've heard, no.
Thank you, KR40X.
Radio check, you had a lot of noise in there with you.
Okay. HT. SOT clear.
Station in the Peninsula. Are you still there?
Repeat that request, please.
Are you the one I was talking to in the Peninsula?
Correct. This is Mark, KB9KLW in the Peninsula.
Jeff lives on Aqua View Drive, if that helps.
Repeat that drive.
I also added to the top here, you'll see when it says refreshing feeds, I think about every 20 minutes. So it's refreshing so all my feeds are aggregated, my news sources. So you're seeing the headlines from those latest feeds and headlines. If it's distracting, let me know and I'll remove it.
We came back from Tennessee. We had to take 40 to 81, 77, and we came from Statesville all the way to Hickory, no problem. The interstate is open. But I've heard that it's somewhere around Morganton, the interstate shut down.
Interstate shut down at exit 85, I believe it is. And yeah, the North Carolina DOT put the closure on Google Maps to keep truck traffic from going that way. That's the only reason it's like that. The 40 is actually open all the way up to 85.
Yeah, it's sad because a lot of people might have not taken 40 back to their own homes because they thought that information was true.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's the only way to really stop it right now because, I mean, coming home from Tennessee, yeah, you would have been stuck. There's no way to get out across 40 out and coming from Tennessee. Eastbound is falling into the river.
Yeah, we had to take 40 from Knoxville, get on 81, then jump on 77, come down to Statesville, and get back on 40 to get to Hickory. It was a 5-hour drive instead of a 2.5-hour drive.
Yeah, that's for sure. But sadly, it's the way you keep truck drivers away, the ones that don't need to be over there. Once they get somewhere, it's almost impossible for them to turn around. They're so large, so that makes all the sense in the world. But it is unfortunate, that's for sure.
Yeah, they should have released that, but, locals can get back to their houses if they live there, and truck drivers should stay off it because you can't turn around. Contact. Contact.
That gentleman has just come from Tennessee. My son's hung up in Gatlinburg, and he's trying to get back to Marion. So you saying you took 40 to Knoxville to 81 north, and I guess to 77 and then south, is that right?
That is correct, but I've also been hearing that you can't get past Morganton on 40 if you're heading westbound.
That is incorrect. This is Mark, KB9KLW. We went over to Hickory yesterday to buy gasoline south of Hickory and came back on 40. It's open all the way. We get off at Nebo. We live on the north side of Lake James, which is a Nebo address. It was open all the way up to here at least.
Yeah, my father-in-law went to Hickory today from Old Fort. That's 40 to 81 to 77. Back to 40. Okay, thank you for that. No problem.
Go ahead.
My wife has to travel to Morganton, Tennessee, probably 2 days. She thinks 621 will be open.
No audio. Very low. You're going to have to speak up.
That is a good reminder, especially those using HTs to speak louder. Help a little bit, because if you speak a normal tone of voice, we may not hear you.
This is Mark, KB9KLW, and am I coming through loud and clear?
Mr. Mark, you're coming in fine. A little noise, but you're fine. That last transmission was unreadable. Phone delivery. let everybody know, KO Boards, EZT, Davey up in Crossnor, they're okay, but they had went to Tennessee yesterday from Crossnor to get groceries and supplies. Well, they was going to go back there today to get some stuff for some other people, and the Highway Patrol has put up concrete barriers across the road so nobody could go that way. And the road was fine yesterday, and I'm sure it was today too. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but if anybody hears anything, let me know.
KB9 KLW. Does anyone have any information on Newland, North Carolina?
Newland is just outside of Crossnor. That whole area has been, there's people having problems getting in and out. So I'm not sure the conditions. There's been a few people today who said there was a lot of flooding and a lot of trees down.
Okay, thank you, sir. WX4DAT.
Go ahead, station.
Yeah. What's the story on, Marion? How hard was y'all hit?
Doing there, Mr. Kurt?
Yeah, Marion was hit pretty hard, but north of Marion it was hit hardest. I went to town today and got gas and something to eat. Restaurants are opening back up. Grocery stores are opening back up. Walmart's open. Ingles had lights on, but I don't know if they're open or not. I'm sure they're about ready to. But if you know where the 5-lane is in Marion, they've got the power back on down through there, and all the gas stations down through there are selling gas again. And I think everything except the dollar store was open when I come back through there. But it's gradually opening back up down that way. But the farther north you go, the worse it is.
KK4BCL.
Go ahead.
I just came from Marion. I agree with that assessment. I do want to know that Old Fort, I guess everybody knows, is completely shut down. It basically destroyed that town. I have a question on a travel route to Asheville, if anyone can answer it. Over.
Well, when we were eating down there today, the waitress that waited on us said her husband works for a tree company, and he was needing to come home from Asheville, and he ended up going 26 to 77 to 221 and then back up to Marion. So just reverse that, I guess you can get to Asheville.
10-4. I live halfway down Back Cave Road. Does anyone know if it's open? I live in a place called Gateway Mountain, halfway between Old Fort and Back Cave. Does anyone know if it's open from my area to exit 49?
Judging from what Cliff said earlier today, I would say it's probably not clear. KQ4STJ.
Roger that, thank you.
Copy this I-26 to 74 and then back up to 21. KK4EO.
Roger that, 74 to 26.
heard backwards a lot of those areas, and they need to be very careful about where they can travel.
Terrible devil. Hey, man. This WH-48T, I doubled with you.
Not a problem. I know we're all out there trying to help. I have heard coming into North Carolina, the only accessible interstate is 26 up from Spartanburg, Greenville, and a lot of the other roads are either shut down because of landslides or...
Greenville is where I was in South Carolina, right, babe? Greenville, yeah, that's where Craig Huerman was, and spent like 2 days on there. It's getting late. Tomorrow is Monday. We will continue following this here and on X, but I'm mentally toast. I am cooked. Been traveling 3 days to Cedar Key, so it's like 2.5 hours each way, so about 5 hours. Yesterday was the first day that I finally slowed down, and then following this today, we will be back tomorrow morning. Thank you guys for tuning in both times. Thank you for tuning into the Cedar Key content. If you see some drone footage locally in Florida, it's because we signed waivers and met people along our journey. Love you guys. And yeah, Eva even noted while we were out, the lady was like, could we get your footage? Like there's actually, and then somebody reached out again but it was like, why don't you do your job? Like she was going to tell her daughter to tell the news lady, do a job. Like, aren't you supposed to get in your own content? Like literally that's your job. Like they wouldn't cross the water. We crossed the water. Thankfully, Eva knows how to travel in flooded areas. She's like, you can't drive the car. We'll drive through, but I'm driving. I'm like, all right. David, yeah, thanks for the interesting information. Definitely nerded out with radio talk. It's not my area of expertise for sure. I dicked around with the CB radio. I got kicked off it and made to return my CB radio as a child to Radio Shack. I do have a police scanner, but besides that, I think in hearing this and seeing what's going on around the world with weather and other stuff, that'd be probably wise to have a CB radio. So I appreciate this. I'm going to go back and study and go look for my own radio this week. So we'll be back tomorrow. We love you guys. Be kind to each other and stay safe. Good night, guys.